Greetings, beloved. Welcome to the 34th day of Lent. On this Saturday, we will be reflecting on the idea of transmutation. Our biblical passage for consideration is the Gospel of John, chapter 2, verses 1 through 11. John chapter 2, verses 1 through 11. But first, a few thoughts to lift and hold in the forefront of your mind as we meditatively and contemplatively move through these ideas and reflections. The first thought is define transmutation. The second thought is, what is transmutation in consciousness? Number 3, what is affected in the process of developing out of the natural into the spiritual? And number 4, what does it mean to let the leaven of the Pharisees work in us? There is no condition of mind or body that cannot be lifted up. Spirit in me, God's Spirit, is powerful and ever present. Spirit is life-giving. Again, our biblical passage for consideration on this 34th day of Lent is John chapter 2, we will read verses 1 through 11. Take a deep cleansing breath. Breathe in. Release. Inhale through your nose. Hold it. Release it. Breathe in deeply once again. Hold it. And this time, blow it out with a ah. Ah. And as you get centered, as we read over John chapter 2, verses 1 through 11, don't think about being over analytical, beloved. Let the words wash over you. And what is meant for you will be for you, and you will know. John chapter 2 reads thusly: On the third day, there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. And both Jesus and his disciples were invited to the wedding. When the wine ran out, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "What business do you have with me, woman? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Whatever he tells you, do it." Now there were 6 stone water pots standing there for the Jewish custom of purification, containing 2 or 3 measures each. 2 or 3 measures each. Jesus said to them, "Fill the water pots with water." So they filled them up to the brim. And he said to them, "Draw some out now and take it to the head waiter." And they took it to him. Now, when the head waiter tasted the water which had become wine, and did not know where it came from, but the servants who had drawn the water knew, the head waiter called the groom and said to him, "Every man serves the good wine first, and when the guests are drunk, then he serves the poor wine. But you have kept the good wine until now." This beginning of his signs Jesus did in Cana of Galilee, and revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. Thus ends the reading. We return now to Keep a True Lent by Charles Fillmore, as we reflect on the idea of transmutation. Transmutation, the conversion of one element into another. Webster. In consciousness, transmutation is a changing in action and character to conform to spiritual standards. It is well said that the mind is the crucible in which the ideal is transmuted into the real. Jesus said that all power was given to him in heaven and in earth. He manifested his power in a small way by multiplying a few loaves and fishes to feed more than 5,000 persons. In various other instances, he demonstrated that he had an understanding of the transmutation of substance. He raised his flesh body to an energy level far higher in potential life and substance than any reached before. We see that not only the mind, but also the body is affected in the process of developing out of the natural into the spiritual. And I can attest to that truth personally. The leaven of the Pharisees and of Herod, Mark chapter 8, verse 15, represents limited thoughts. When we attempt to confine the divine law to the customary avenues of expression and scoff at anything beyond, we are letting the leaven of the Pharisees work in us. When the mind is raised up through affirmation to God's omnipresent substance and life, we are not only fed, but there is a surplus. This is the teaching of Jesus, and it has always been exemplified by his faithful followers. Let's look at Mark chapter 8, verse 15. And he was giving orders to them, saying, "Watch out, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the leaven of Herod." I realized that through the law of transmutation, every error thought in my consciousness is transmuted into its spiritual correspondence. I affirm, spirit in me is transmuting my body into pure spiritual substance, and my soul rejoices. Spirit in me is transmuting my body into spiritual substance, and my soul rejoices. Spirit in me is transmuting my body into pure spiritual substance, and my soul rejoices. My soul rejoices, beloved. Every time I spend these moments with you, my soul rejoices. I thank you so much for joining me for these Lenten biblical readings and meditations. Now, beloved, know that you are surrounded and centered in the peace of God. You are divinely protected, therefore you are fully protected. All is well, and you are safe. I am safe. We are safe. For the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Thank you, God, in us, through us, as us, around us, through the Christ within. And so it is. Bye for now.